Most people think that change begins with a decision, as if one decision can dissolve years of influence and patterns. How many times have you felt that surge of clarity, that moment where you decided, that's it, this time I'm really changing. I'm so done feeling this way. Maybe you tried a new routine or started a new project. Maybe you set some new goals that you'd like to achieve, and you promise yourself this time it will be different. But life happens. Maybe you hit a creative roadblock, you come across an obstacle. You're slowly starting to feel your old patterns creeping back in. Your new routine is quietly being sidetracked by the busy life. Your project is slowly taking a backseat. Stress is pulling you further and further away from your goals. Now you're just exhausting from pushing yourself into a new direction, and eventually you find yourself right back in that emotional place. What if I told you that most of what you experience in life isn't actively being decided by your conscious mind? Not your logic, not your willpower, not even your intentions. What if the way that you react, the way that you overthink, or how you keep finding yourself in the same emotional patterns wasn't random at all? What if it's a system, a loop, something that was formed long before you even had the awareness to question it? See, if your conscious mind were truly in control, then wanting something would be enough to make the change, wouldn't it? You can decide to stop doubting yourself, and a more assertive version of you would just take over. Maybe you decided to be less controlling, and just like that, you let go of the grip. When you're finally done with being that old version of yourself, you can just simply jump into a new you, right? See, most of us know it doesn't usually work that way. You know you can do better, but still repeat the same behavior. You want more, but still something is holding you back. You might already know exactly what needs to change, but something inside you is resisting. Why do you keep finding yourself right back where you started? As if there's an internal block. Like one part of you is ready for a different path, while the other part of you is resisting. If you ever felt that internal conflict, if you ever felt like life is being shaped by something deeper than your conscious mind, then what I'm about to share will make a lot more sense. What you're experiencing is not a lack of discipline. It's not weakness. There is nothing wrong with you. It is because most people are trying to create change at the surface level, while the deeper pattern remains completely untouched. You're trying to think differently, you force new behaviors, you push yourself into new routines, a different outcome. But if the identity underneath it all has not changed, then eventually the old version of you will pull you right back. Not because you chose that, but because the mind is wired for efficiency. It learned patterns, it stored them, and then it quietly began to run on autopilot. Let's actually trace this back before your identity took shape, before your patterns became automatic, before your mind learned, or what it felt like to be safe or true to yourself. So when we were born, we didn't come with any beliefs. You're not born believing you're not incapable or not enough or unworthy of the life you secretly want. None of those ideas were there in the beginning. But as you began to grow into that early childhood phase, your mind began absorbing a whole world around you. Tones, expressions, emotions, safety, attention. Between the ages of 1 and 7, your mind had organized every experience and took that into meaning. How people around you spoke. What did they sound like? Were things dramatic? Were they calm? What was your preschool environment like? Each and every scenario and experience created a foundation for your belief system. What did safety feel like to you? What were the dynamics like in your family? Was it a happy environment? Was it loud? What about attention or approval? Were those things hard to come by? How about love? How did it feel? Did you see it a lot from your parents? Did you feel it? Your mind was absorbing everything without a critical filter, and often as truth, before you had any ability to fully question what was happening. So how you perceived your world that time significantly shaped how you think, how you feel, and how you respond today. Going into adulthood, a child who was constantly corrected may become the kind of an adult who will avoid being seen or avoids making mistakes, maybe unintentionally blocking opportunities due to fear of failure, fear of judgment, or a child who compare themselves to their siblings. In another instance, this child will quietly question their capabilities or feel like they're not good enough to step forward. And a lot of times, it truly starts with a thought. Sometimes, so quickly, you barely even notice it. If you heard someone tell you at any point in your life, oh, why can't you just be a little bit more confident? Like your brother, he's so confident and things come easy for him. That statement doesn't just remain as a thought. It creates feelings in the body. The feelings of, am I not good enough? Where did I go wrong? Why can't I be like that? How can I be like that? How can I be more like my brother? Now, that feeling influences a behavior. These behaviors prevent that child from taking chances, making mistakes, learning from them, strengthening that growth mindset. That behavior becomes habitual because the mind learned the familiar. It will keep you in that safe space of what is familiar, because chances are you're not just going to question yourself once or twice. These questions are going to come constantly, slowly turning into beliefs. And these little beliefs form habits. Now these habits begin to form an identity. The decision making, your reactions, how you speak, what you attract. Ultimately, this identity begins to shape the reality that you are experiencing. Now you see how the identity was created. All things starting with a thought, turning into habits, turning into reactions, turning into little beliefs. Then without realizing, these cycles begin looping in all facets of life. If a child spent years trying to be perfect for someone, they'll grow up quietly feeling like they're never good enough, blocking intentions, doubting themselves, attracting wrong friendships or relationships. This is why change can feel so frustrating, because many people are not fighting the present moment. They are fighting years of internal conditioning. They're trying to become someone new while the mind is still loyal to who it learned to be years ago. And this is where the shift begins. My name is Julie, and this is reEMERG, a space for identity level change, for understanding the deeper patterns, running beneath your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, and your sense of self. Your transformation here is not approached forcefully. That's not what works for the subconscious mind. It's approached as gentle reconditioning, not pretending to be someone else, but as finally becoming free from the version of you that was built from survival, that was built from fear, and from the old emotional programming. This isn't about blaming our past or blaming our parents or our upbringing. Everyone has a story. Real lasting change does not happen from attacking the past or forcing yourself into improvement. It happens when you begin to work with the part of the mind that has been creating these experiences all along. It is our subconscious mind, the part that has stored all of these emotional patterns, the one that quietly influences how you move in the world today. And this is why hypnotherapy became so important to me. Not because it's mystical, not because it's mind control, but because when done with intention, structure, and care, it gives your mind access to a state where change can be more receptive, more natural, deeply integrated to help you come back to yourself and consciously build your inner world, a world built with intention, a world that's aligned to who you are becoming. So take a moment and ask yourself, what are you ready to stop repeating? What identity are you finally ready to step out of? What exciting new version of you is quietly waiting to emerge? I hope this gave you a clearer understanding of how your thoughts, your patterns, your identity came to form, and what becomes truly possible when you begin working with those deeper parts of yourself. In the next video, we'll go deeper into what hypnotherapy actually is and how it begins to work with the part of the mind that's been running the program beneath the surface. Until then, return to the space with intention and choose a guided hypnotherapy that meets you where you are. Thank you for being here. This is reEMERG, a space where your mind can quietly become the person you are meant to be.